Good morning to all of you. In previous video lecture, I have taught you about second law of motion, and I have also said to you that second law of motion is known as quantitative law. Quantitative law, and I have derived a formula that is force is the product of mass into acceleration. Mass into acceleration. So from second law of motion, we have got the magnitude of the force. We have got the value of the force. Suppose I am taking that a mass of an object is 20 kg. I am taking that the mass of an object is 20 kg, and acceleration which the object is producing, that is 5 meter per second square. Its mass of a body is 20 kg and the acceleration produced is 5 meter per second square. So what will be the magnitude of the force which is acting? That is 20 into 5, that is 100, and unit of force is Newton. So from here, what we are getting? We are getting the value of the force, that is 100 Newton. Means from second law of motion, we are getting the magnitude of the force. That's why it is said to be qualitative law. Second law of motion is said to be qualitative law. Now, we will prove that from second law of motion, we can prove first law of motion. How? Suppose I am taking that no external force is acting on a body. So let this be equation number 1, and I am saying that no external force is acting on a body. So if no external force will act on a body, what will happen? I can write this equation as Ma is equal to 0. Why I have written Ma is equal to 0? Because the external force, I have took the external force as 0. Means no force is acting on a body. So I have got that the product of mass and acceleration is equal to 0. But we all know that mass can never be equal to 0. Mass is quantity of matter, and every object has mass. Yes, whether the mass will be more or less, that is different thing. But every object, everything has some mass. So mass can never be equal to 0. Mass is the quantity of matter. So if I will multiply mass into acceleration, what value I am getting? 0. What value I am getting? I am getting the value as 0. But we have got that mass is never equal to 0. So if I will multiply mass into acceleration, the value I should get how much? 0. It means what will be 0? Acceleration will be 0. What will be 0? Acceleration will be 0. It means if no external force is applied on an object, its external will be 0. External force is not applied on an object, its acceleration will be 0. Yes, I hope that this much is clear to all of you, that if external force is not applied on an object, its external force is not applied on an object, its acceleration will be equal to 0. So acceleration will be equal to 0 in which case? In which case acceleration will be equal to 0? We have to see if object will be at rest. In that condition, acceleration will be equal to 0. And if object is in uniform motion, then also what will happen? Acceleration will be equal to 0. Because if the object is moving with, suppose, uniform velocity, object is moving with uniform velocity, so in that case what will be acceleration? Acceleration will be equal to 0. So in this both situation, what we are getting? We are getting that if an object is at rest, it will remain at rest. That's why acceleration is zero. And if an object is moving with uniform velocity, it will continue to be in uniform velocity when acceleration is equal to zero. Okay, and acceleration is equal to zero when force applied on an object is zero, means no force is applied on an object. So from second law, what we have got? We have got the first law. What the first law say? First law say that if an object is at rest, it will always remain at rest. And if an object is in motion, it will continue to be in motion until and unless an external force is applied on it. And here, when we are not applying external force, so we are getting acceleration as zero, means object is either at rest or it is in uniform motion. If it is at rest, it will remain at rest, and if it is in uniform motion, it will continue to be in uniform motion. So from a second law of motion, we have derived first law of motion. Now the next topic which we have to study is third law of motion. So what is third law of motion? According to Newton's third law of motion, for every action there is equal and opposite reaction. What is the statement of third law of motion? For every action there is equal and opposite reaction. Suppose I am taking an example that a force is applied. I am taking an object as A and I am taking an object as B. Okay? And suppose that both objects come in collision with each other. For a while, after moving, suppose the velocity of A is greater than B and both are moving on a same straight path. So after some time, what will happen? Both will collide with each other. So when both will collide with each other, this is object A, this is object B. So what will happen? Object A will apply force on object B. Force, this is a symbol. FAB means what? Force applied by object A on object B. Means this will be the direction of force. So what will happen? The object B will also apply the force on object A, and that will be FBA, and the direction of FAB and FBA are opposite to each other. It means what? If two objects are in interaction with each other and one object is applying a force on another object, so that is action. So in reaction, second object will also apply a force on the first object. So from here what we are saying, that the force, according to third law of motion, every action has equal and opposite reaction. Means the force applied by object A on object B is equal in magnitude as the force applied by object B on object A. But what is the difference? Here the difference is minus sign. Means this minus sign, what it indicates? That if AB, the force applied by A, object A on object B is in forward direction, so the force which is applied by object B on object A is in backward direction. Means both are opposite to each other. So this is what our Newton third law of motion. So Newton third law of motion, or we can say third law of motion. So Newton third law of motion, what it says? Newton third law of motion says that for every action there is equal and opposite reaction. There is equal and opposite reaction. For example, there are several examples in our day-to-day life. Day-to-day life, there are several examples which is applicable on third law of motion. For example, you see fish. आप लोग मछली देखे होंगे, fish. When what swim in the water, so with the help of fins, the fish, with the help of its fin, it moves the water in backward direction. Okay, it moves the water with the backward direction. Or you can take the example of the human being also when we are swimming in pool or anywhere. So what happened? We try to move the water in backward direction. So what we are doing? We are applying the force on the water in the backward direction. That is action. But according to third law, what we have seen, for every action there is equal and opposite reaction. So the water also apply a force on us, and the force which is applied by water is in the direction opposite to the direction in which we have applied the force on the water. So as a resultant, what happened? The water apply a force in forward direction and we move forward. The same thing happened in the case of when the birds fly. So when the bird fly, what it do? With the help of wings, okay, its wings, what the bird do? It pushes the air in downward direction. Okay, with the help of wings, it pushes the air in downward direction. So as a resultant, what happened? The air pushes the bird in which direction? Upward direction. Okay. So these all are the example of Newton's third law of motion. And that's why we are saying that for every action, according to the Newton's third law of motion, for every action there is equal and opposite reaction. So that is all about Newton's third law of motion. In the next class, we will study about law of conservation of momentum, and we will also study about recoil velocity of the gun. That is our last topic of the chapter force and laws of motion. Hope what I have taught to you, it is clear to all of you. If you have any doubt, please ask to me or either to your subject teacher which is assigned in your class. That's all for today. Thank you. God bless you all. And one important thing which I want to tell to you all is that please, after watching video lecture, make notes. For every video lecture, make notes after watching video lecture. Okay, so the points which I am explaining here, it is clear to you or not. For that purpose, the best method is make notes by yourself. If you are able to write, understand and write it, it means you are getting what I am teaching. And after that also, if you are facing the problem, so you are free to ask to me. Thank you. God bless you all.